Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ethan Malone here, and today we're talking about Fury. I mean, Fury? No, no, we're talking about the movie Fury, which I just watched the other day. Now, the basic premise of the film is that it's April 1945 whenever the film starts, and just a brief little history for you. The Germans actually surrendered on May 7th, 1945, so it was very close to the end of World War II. But this is about the Americans in Germany, and it's like it's about whenever the Germans just wouldn't give up, and they kept on practically throwing bodies at the enemy because they just wouldn't give up on their fight. Because I mean, honestly, when you're led by an insane dictator, that's kind of what happens. So they were literally like children fighting for them and stuff. But the main premise of this film is just about it puts you into the perspective of a tank squad, a tank crew during that part of the war. And there's really no chivalry left around that time. So it is a very dark and serious film. Um, but they're using the Sherman tank that was the American tank during World War II. But they're fighting against the German Panzer tanks, which were much more heavily armored and had much better guns and such. My cat's here beside me. He's always around me when I'm recording. Anyway, but so you can see how that would be a bit of a factor during this film, is that Panzers are much more powerful. So for historical accuracy in this film, the beginning is hey Toby. The beginning is highly historical. It's very accurate. I mean, of course, I wasn't there or anything, but I can just tell you from what I've studied that does look very realistic to it. However, it is a bit unrealistic to have this tank fight, this tank battle later, where whenever what's it called, one of the panzers kind of gives away his position in a way that probably wouldn't happen in real life, and the Sherman, they charge at a panzer and go behind it and shoot it instead of they kind of go around it. It's hard to explain, rather than keeping their distance. That probably wouldn't have happened, but I'm not going to say it just absolutely never did happen. And also on top of that, most tanks had infantry following them, constantly following them. So that part was a little bit inaccurate, but then again, this is so late in the war that there's a little bit. I mean, I would assume that there's a chance that could have happened, so I'm not gonna say this movie is immediately just fake or anything. It's pretty legit. But so historical accuracy, I would give it an 8 out of 10, honestly, because just those 2 points are knocked off just for that, you know. For family friendliness, no. And then for the next rating scale for this film is honestly, how well was it conducted? The soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm not gonna play the soundtrack in the background of this video, because it is copyrighted. I don't feel like getting a copyright strike or a violation or anything like that on my channel. So I'll probably have some Battlefield music or whatever playing in the background, some war music that's not so copyrighted on YouTube. But the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. It was, conducted by Stephen Price. So really, really, really good soundtrack, emotional and everything. Fantastic. Cinematography is great. The acting, they really look like they were actually there. In the behind the scenes, the director tried to make them very immersed in what they were doing. They actually even learned how to operate an actual Sherman tank. So that is really cool to me. It's an extra point. On top of that, the like I said, the cinematography is very good, and the set design is horrifyingly good. It's just You know, the way they conducted it, the way you get immersed in this film really quick. They don't have to take 10 minutes to get you immersed. You know what I mean? Another point I'd like to go over is definitely that all the what's it called? Uniforms are definitely pretty accurate. There's all the different weapons and such were actually there. So it is a very historically accurate movie that they probably did a whole lot of studying for. It's just, again, that one Sherman scene, that tank battle probably would not have happened. But for the last point I'd like to make is just my personal rating out of 5 stars for this film. I would give it, for what it is, I would give it 4.5. For watchability, I would give it 3.5, 4, because it is a very, very dark and serious movie. It's not just something that, it's good. It's very well written, very well acted. It's not just one of those movies. It's oh, you can only watch it once because it'll just scar you for life. But it is extremely, tense. So it's not like one of those movies that you could watch every other day or whatever. It's sort of like 1917 to me. I watch that movie maybe every 6 months because it's a really, really good movie. I just, A, don't want to spoil the cinematicness of it, but watching it too many times. And B, it's just a dark enough movie that I don't want to, watch it all the time. So, like I said, watchability is 3.5 stars. But for what the film is, I would give it 4.5, I'm going to say. Because it is extremely emotional. And I don't want to spoil it, but it is a very emotional film, and you do get attached to the characters. So, a movie that if you're into war movies and stuff, like I said, it's a very tense movie, so I wouldn't recommend it for anybody who's the most intense thing they've ever watched is Spider-Man. I wouldn't recommend it for them, but it is a very, very well-made movie, and you'd be doing yourself a favor to watch it. And I think I'm probably one of the few people who hadn't watched it until recently, because I've watched Saving Private Ryan and Hacksaw Ridge and all those movies, but this is one that I hadn't watched, and it was pleasantly surprising. So thank you guys so much for watching. I just thought I'd make this video real quick. And if you did like this video, or if you do like the channel, maybe you could go check out some of my other videos if you're new. But yeah, please be sure to subscribe, share, and I will see you all in the next video.